Extreme heat in Europe impacting major cultural activities this weekend. Here in Paris, authorities are telling organizers of two big events. That's Paris Pride and, separately, the Solidays Music Festival to cancel their festivities this weekend. At least 150 million people in Europe face temperatures above 35 degrees Celsius this Friday. That's according to AFP news agency. France has been one of the worst hit countries. It recorded its hottest day on back-to-back days this week, and there has been a fourfold increase in emergency room visits for heat-related reasons. Scientists say global warming has made extreme weather like this more frequent and more intense. Let's speak to our reporter, Emerald Maxwell, joining us from downtown Paris. Hello to you, Emerald. Take us through these latest decisions from the Paris authorities.
Yes, well, the Paris police have asked organisers of the Pride March this weekend to cancel the event. They also warned that if organisers didn't comply, they would go ahead and ban it themselves. Several other events, like the Solidays Music Festival and a race planned in the capital, have already been postponed or cancelled, as well as the Pride March in the city of Lyon, which has been moved to September. Parisians will also be temporarily banned from drinking alcohol in public and buying alcohol to take away this weekend. That's from Friday at noon and 6 p.m. respectively, a measure to stem increasing hospitalizations because the Paris police said hospitals were really becoming saturated at this point. The ban, though, does not include restaurants and cafes with public seating areas. These measures are response, of course, to the stifling record-breaking temperatures as the capital continues to push 30 degrees today, and after it hit a June record of 41 degrees on Wednesday. And nationwide, France recorded its hottest ever temperature.
Emerald, as you're speaking, we hear the sirens behind you. Tell us a little bit about how health and emergency services have been responding to this heat wave.
Well, yes, because two-thirds of the country is still on red alert, including Paris. And people are really, the heat is really getting to people after several days of relentless heat. Hospitals' emergency services have been overwhelmed. There were 25 cardiac arrests over 24 hours on Wednesday. That's compared to fewer than 10 usually. A fourfold increase in emergency room visits and a 30% uptick in call-outs but to the emergency services for people fainting with heat stroke and other heat-related conditions. This heat wave is affecting the most vulnerable, of course, like those living in attics or the elderly and so on. Many have taken to sleeping in parks, which have been exceptionally opened all night long in the capital. A desperate measure because air conditioning is not widespread here and buildings are ill-equipped to deal with these sort of record temperatures. More people have also been wild swimming in places like the canal. That has led to at least 48 deaths from drowning this week. Authorities have not announced the total death figure for the country, but we know that at least 3 children have tragically died in cars from exposure to excessive heat. As for an official response, well, the health minister has allocated a budget of 100 million euros to hospitals to bring in emergency equipment like fans. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister said earlier today that the situation is under control in care homes and that the authorities are focusing their attention particularly on people living alone at home. But the government has come under fire for failing to prepare the country adequately for this sort of heat wave. It's a recurring criticism that's been levelled at every government since 2003. That's when France experienced that record heat wave that led to 14,800 excess deaths.